Alright, class flight scenario 2, aviation 325 by me, Nicholas Ray. Alright, just an overview of what we're going to be talking about today is that we've been given a scenario, and I'm going to use the PAVE checklist to break down that scenario, and then I'm going to determine the corrective considerations that we should have on this flight. Alright, so the scenario given, just a quick little summary is I work at a flight school. The owner asked me to go pick up an airplane that was getting overhauled. I'm a commercial pilot, have my instrument rating as a VFR DED. Also working on my CFI certificate, and I want to eventually be a CFI at this flight school, so this is a huge moment to impress my boss. Alright, more in depth in the trip. Piedmont Triad International to Lynchburg Regional. That's going to be the leg that I'm going to be flying. But we're, in the morning at 9 a.m. we're going to be taking off out of Lynchburg. We'll be headed to Piedmont. Another pilot that works at the flight school is going to be taking me to Piedmont. He's going to drop me off. I'm going to fly the P-28 back, which is the airplane that we're going to be picking up. And it's a pretty short flight, only 82 nautical miles, so it's going to be approximately an hour. Me as the pilot, commercial rated, working on CFI. I'm assuming I'm familiar with the P-28 since it's owned by the flight school, and I'm very familiar with Lynchburg Airport since it is my home airport, and I've done lots of flight training there, so it should be easy to pick up the visual references when coming in for approach to land. Alright, pilot I'm safe checklist. We're going to analyze me as the pilot. I'm not sick, don't have any illnesses, not on any medication. Stressed out to impress my boss. Alcohol, not consuming alcohol. No fatigue, it's not too early morning flight. And emotion, just nervous to get the plane back in a safe and timely manner to impress my boss. Alright, aircraft that we've been flying and mentioned on a little bit. P-28, engine got overhauled, and new avionics system. Alright, this flight's going to be a VFR day flight, light winds, so nothing to really worry about here, and you shouldn't encounter any weather en route, either to or from Piedmont. External pressures, as mentioned, trying to impress my boss so I can get a job as a CFI once I get my certificate. So just a recap of all the considerations that we should be making is before engine start, since we are dealing with the new avionics system, and I'm assuming that we haven't not used before, something that we want to do is get familiar with this new avionics system, so we're not in the air and we need to use it more in depth. If we're in the air and we need to use it more in depth and we don't know how to use it, it could be a dangerous situation. Yes, granted, I'm stressed to impress my boss, but most importantly is have a good, safe flight, so I need to use good aeronautical decision making before, during the flight. Flight following, very good tool that we should use coming out of Piedmont, especially since we're going to be dealing with a Class Charlie airspace. It's an international airport, should be pretty busy, lots of traffic, so flight following would be a very smart tool to use. And I chose a 5,500 foot cruise altitude since we're heading to the northeast, odd plus 500. I like cruising high because if we do end up having an engine out or any type of emergency, it's always nice to have altitude underneath you to find an airport to divert to and get on the ground safely. I was looking at the NOTAMs for Piedmont, and there's quite a few of them, but there's nothing that is too out of the ordinary or anything that's really going to affect our departure or even our arrival. Just being familiar with those before we even take off to head to Piedmont would be a great thing to have, and then review them in flight down to there, heading down there. Alright, here are my references. Thank you for watching. See you.